Barnes and D'Amica Pearson of Leland, charging them with the murder. More news in 1 hour on 103.9 WYAB. I'm Chris Davis.
The views and opinions expressed in this program are the individual views and opinions of the people expressing them and do not necessarily reflect those of this radio station, its parent, affiliated, or related entities, agents, or employees.
Welcome to the Chip Matthews Show, where politics meets the South. So grab your sweet tea, find a comfortable spot to sit back, and let's embark on this journey together. Chip away, chip away.
Good. Tuesday morning, 9 a.m. We're on the radio today. Chip Matthews program here, and we have a special guest. I'm going to the phone, put him on. Lawerance, you there? Lawerance, hello? Lawerance?
Yeah, Chip.
Yeah, there you are. I got Representative Lawerance Blackmon on the phone, and we're talking about the murders that have been going on in Canton, and there was another one last night. Break it down for me, Lawerance.
Well, Chip, you and I spoke briefly last night, and I am saddened but not shocked to confirm what most of us already know, that there was another homicide last night in Canton. A young man by the name of Quincy Pate was gunned down as he sat in his vehicle yesterday evening in the Canton Estates Apartments. And so for anyone who is keeping up with Canton news, you know that is the third homicide that we have had in Canton and in the Canton State Apartments this year. So that's very unfortunate.
It's very unfortunate. And what was this guy's age? I'm just asking. I
don't know what Quincy's exact age was, but he was young. I would put him at maybe early 30s.
Early 30s. Okay. And
early, no late. No, I wouldn't think that he was older than 35.
And I've been telling everybody, and I keep coming on the air telling everybody, that this is not political with you. This has nothing to do with the upcoming mayor's race, but it has everything to do with the upcoming mayor's race. But you're out trying to get people to notice that what's going on and the violent nature of Canton. Canton is basically has more murders per capita than Jackson.
That's right. And more murders per capita than a lot of places, So by my estimation and the things that I've looked at, suggest that Canton is quickly becoming one of the most dangerous cities in America, certainly one of the most dangerous small cities in America. And so I think that is unacceptable. Just like I know that Canton has not always been this way.
No.
And so, I'm very interested in taking a look into what has gone wrong along the way. I think that there are some generational differences between, the generation of young people that are mostly inclined to be involved in violent crime now, and certainly your generation of folks who came up in Canton. But I don't think that's the whole story. And so, I have this started off as a mission to help one family receive justice for their loved one who was killed on election night. But this has ballooned into a much, much bigger issue as the city has shown how much of a concern this is at the kitchen table at night for families. So, I'm going to follow the leads wherever they go and try to see if we can get some answers for the people of Canton as to who is responsible for this deterioration of our town.
Well, let me ask you this. This is the way I look at it. And I think you've mentioned it before. And at the night of your first forum that you had on this, which was an amazing thing. Everybody showed up. You had a packed house. And I was amazed that you weren't the one speaking. It was the victim speaking. And the reality of it is, it's really the haves and the have-nots speaking. Would you say? I mean, the have-nots are not being represented in Canton anymore.
Yeah, I would agree with that. But when you say the haves and the have-nots, I mean, if you look at, the whole of Canton, it's majority have-nots, right? And so the have is just a really small group of people who power is concentrated amongst. And I think that, we have got to, I guess, show the people who's really for them and who's really doing the work for them,
Right.
Versus who's not.
Because I feel like the elected, let's put it this way. In the past, Mayor Truly has always been the first person to be out there speaking. I don't know where his voice is now. It is gone. And these people are searching for somebody to speak on their behalf or answer their questions. And that is, I don't understand why that's not occurring.
Well, I don't either. And you saw kind of how things unfolded last week at City Hall. And the issue for me at that time was the same as it was even at the town hall, that, our elected officials were missing an opportunity to speak directly to the families who are impacted the most by the violent crime in the city, right? And so kind of trying to pass this off as being politically motivated or saying that it's a dog and pony show and that this will all blow over. I think all of that just totally misses the mark. And I think that it was a missed opportunity as far as addressing the families and the people of the community who are on the front rows of these funerals, who want somebody to acknowledge their pain, acknowledge their grief, and acknowledge the missteps within our municipality and specifically our police department when it comes to handling these tragedies that they have been affected by.
And the truth of the matter is, if you hadn't come forward on election night and started your cause of letting people know the news, the problem in Canton is nobody has a source to find anything. We don't find anything out till it's too late. And that's the problem. We put Band-Aids on the problem. We got to get ahead of it and start fixing the problem in the correct atmosphere. And by being diligent and one, you need to say that the crimes are happening. You need to come out and admit it as a city as a whole. Police chief needs to speak. The mayor needs to speak. The council members need to speak. They need to be addressing it and saying that we got to do something about it. And you are what, House of Representatives?
Right.
And you're hitting it head on, but it has nothing to do with politics for you. It is your friends that are laying on the ground dead.
Well, also, Chip, if anybody could be bothered just to do a simple Google search, I think that they would find that I've been into this kind of grassroots community-oriented work long before I was in politics, right? And so I just finished my second year, or my second session in the House of Representatives.
Right.
But in the past, I have led marches in Canton against unjust sentences. I have sued the Madison County Sheriff's Department for some unconstitutional things that they were doing and the way that they were policing the city of Canton at one point. And so, I'm not new to taking on establishments on behalf of the people.
And then a lot of people don't know that you voted for the tax cuts in Mississippi.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that, and I took a lot of backlash from that, specifically from the Democratic Party. But even that wasn't a red or blue issue or a Democrat or Republican issue to me. My vote on House Bill 1 was related to the fact that I believe, and I have a peer study that's being done to confirm this now, but I believe that Black Mississippi pays much more into the state budget than the percentage that we receive in appropriations from the state budget. And so to me, if the state is giving us an opportunity to take back some of our money that we're handing over to the state in taxes, if we have an opportunity to snatch that back, even if it only amounts to 2 quarters at the end of the day, I'm going to take that opportunity because, in my opinion, the state is not living up to their end of the bargain when it comes to divvying up the appropriations to the small Black towns in Mississippi. And so I was a hell yes on House Bill 1, and I would do it again.
And the truth of the matter is we live in a state that Democrat Republican is not an issue, really. I mean, the policies of the national parties are not the policies of us. We're based in religion. We believe in some conservative values on both sides, and we just believe in doing the right thing. And I get caught up when people say, "Well, the Democrat Party is not religious." I go, "You go to Canton, Mississippi, and tell those Democrats that are going to church every Sunday. That's just wrong. It's a wrong thought process that many people have on looking at." And we're not that divided. as Democrat and Republicans, but we are a lot of lawmakers create that atmosphere against the thing because they believe as long as we're divided, they can conquer their side. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, that does make sense. And if you look at the voting patterns in both chambers in the Mississippi legislature, on 95% of the issues passed by overwhelming bipartisan support, right? It's just those few things that I think some people feel like are key issues for their party at a national level that influence some of those nasty breaks that we have that prevent people from coming together and working together.
Right.
And I would point out specifically an incident that took place during this past session when Senator Jeremy England was captured in a picture. It was very innocent. I think he was just having some sidebar conversation with the Democratic member of the Senate. And then that kind of went viral. And I think that the governor chimed in and was chastising Jeremy England for talking to a Democrat, or was alleging that he was conspiring with the Democrat to get part of a Democratic. I mean, it was just really senseless to me. And it accentuated the point that you're making, that it's just a few people who try to make a big deal out of nothing when it comes to bipartisan support on certain issues. I look past all of that as a lawmaker myself. You know, if it makes sense to me and if it makes sense for the people that I represent, I'm going to vote for it, no matter who put it on the table.
Well, I've been getting to know you the last few weeks, and looking back at your record and everything, and not a finer person on the Democratic side, in my opinion, as a Republican.
You're so kind.
Yeah, I mean, you're great. You've turned out to be a totally different person from the person I imagined you to be. Just to let you know. And once again,
you're not alone. You're probably in good company as it relates to that.
Well, what I'm saying is the reality is a lot of people just don't know, and we don't get to hear from our lawmakers. I mean, we get a soundbite on the news and we look like we're crazy or radical. You know, people say I'm crazy because I've run for mayor for so many times, but I've run because I see the issues that need to be fixed. And I don't understand what they're looking at and what their excuse is. I don't understand that. We've had flooding for not just 8 years, for 25 years, 30 years, 40 years. And right now, we're not addressing they're addressing a ditch on one road, which I live on that road, but that ditch is not full of water. But it's going west, and it's going to get deeper on Union Street, and it's 2 feet deep on my street, but it's going that way. And we got to fix it.
I think part of the problem, Chip, is that we as constituents, right, and as citizens have gotten a little bit too accepting of some of the excuses, right, that we don't have this, we don't have that excuse. But part of my investigation is going to include a public records request, and if necessary, a subpoena for the records of payment to City Attorney Kim Banks, who I understand makes north of $500,000 a year in total off the city of Canton, right?
And
when they talk about,
and she passes a lot of that off. You know, sometimes she doesn't go to trial; she sends it to somebody else.
Well, not only that, but it's my understanding, and I'm going to confirm this soon, that she gets a percentage of every piece of equipment that the city purchases, that she gets a percentage of the bond that is negotiated for the city.
Yes.
And so that there are all of these other extra payments that she's getting in addition to her salary that are ballooning her already six-figure salary into the high six-figure range. It's something that I'm told by an insider in City Hall.
Well, when you find that out,
it speaks to priorities, Chip. It speaks to how our municipal government is prioritizing the money that they're spending. Right? If they're spending that much money on the city attorney, which they shouldn't be, we have to also look at the fact that is money that would be better spent in other places. How much are we paying our chief, or how little are we paying our chief? Right? And how competitive is that keeping us in terms of attracting top talent in law enforcement? Right? How much are we paying our investigators? How much are we investigating into our junior police force so that they can have the training and experience that they need to best serve our community, right? And so it's not enough anymore for me just to hear about what we don't have in terms of money, because it seems like, to me, we have money for the things that we want to have money for, But the things that we need to have money for, we don't necessarily have the money that we should have for them because we're spending too much money in other places, hooking up our friends, hooking up our church members, hooking up our schoolmates with these high salaries that, frankly, they're not really earning. And that's taking away from money that would be better off poured back into the community.
And some of that stuff that they're doing when they promote somebody up or this, that, and the other, that's really affecting the PERS system down the road. It's government waste from top to bottom, in these local governments. I mean, because everything we do has to be paid for. Will you hold on while we take a break and we'll come back? Can you stay for another segment? Okay. We'll be back here with Lawerance Blackmon, who's sitting in with me today on the Chip Matthews Show here on WYAB. On WYAB.
1039 WYAB.
Here at Lake and Glass and Tint, we've become well known for two things: window tint and windshields. Now, when it comes to window tint, you already know that we're the go-to for home, car, and office. And as always, we offer free consultations. So if you're in the need of window tint or windshields, give us a call, 601-946-1000. Check us out on Facebook or Instagram or at lakeandglassandtint.com. Lake and Glass and Tint, where quality matters.
At Johnny's Pizza House, we consider our customers like family, so we spend the extra time needed to put more love into making our pizza. From our dough made fresh daily to fresh, never frozen ingredients, Johnny's Pizza House takes pride in knowing that what we serve our customers isn't just pizza. It's a slice of home in every single bite. Great traditions start with great food and great people. Start your tradition today with Johnny's Pizza House. Let's share a slice.
Hello, I'm Gary Jolly from the Tractor Store. LS Tractor understands your passion for the land, and just like you, LS Tractor is committed to excellence and superior products. LS Tractor comes with a long list of standard features that are unmatched by other brands and backed with the LS commitment to provide exceptional customer service and satisfaction. You get a lot more for your money with the LS Tractor. Come to the Tractor Store in Richland to experience the LS difference. The Tractor Store in Richland.
Hey, everybody, it's John at Two Gun Tactical. We're having Kim Wade Wednesdays at both locations. So you come in and mention Kim Wade on a Wednesday, you get half-price range fees. Hey, if you're a member, we're going to give you an extra free target just for mentioning Kim Wade Show. Come on in and work on your shooting and exercise that 2A right that if we don't fight for it, we won't have it much longer. It's twoguntactical.com. That's the number 2guntactical.com.
Pure Air Consultants has always been your go-to for reliable and affordable heating and cooling systems, and now we are offering day and night brand to avoid the 25 to 30% increases that everyone is talking about. With day and night, Pure Air Consultants professionals can install a reliable system with a 10-year system warranty, and right now receive $20 off on service diagnostic fees. Call us today, 601-939-7420, mypureairconsultants.com.
Social Security belongs to you. You work hard and pay into it. So it's only fair for you to expect to get the money you've earned to help cover living expenses and bills, and not for politicians to use as a piggy bank. That's why AARP is fighting to protect your Social Security so you get what you've earned. Learn more at aarp.org/youearnedit. That's aarp.org/youearnedit. Paid for by AARP.
You know what's a nightmare? We've all seen that movie where the bad guy's coming and your gun jams up. Luckily, that's just a movie, but you can't take the chance it could happen to you in real life. Hey, y'all, I'm Therese Apel from Dark Horse Press, and I've written stories about a whole lot of situations where people needed their gun to work for them. So if yours is moody or likes to jam, you need to take it to Guns and Gear. Let their professional gunsmiths look at it and fix it so it'll work when you need it. They're the absolute best at what they do, and that's why I buy all my guns from them. That's Guns and Gear in Gluckstadt. Check them out today.
Are you a wine enthusiast? Are you looking for the perfect bottle to elevate your next dinner? The ultimate destination for wine lovers is 042 Wine and Spirits on West Government Street in Brandon. They're locally owned, they're locally operated. 042 Wine offers something for everyone, from local favorites to rare vintage wines. 042 Wine and Spirits can help you find your next favorite wine. The friendly and knowledgeable folks at 042 Wine and Spirits will help you find the perfect bottle for every occasion. 042 Wine and Spirits, located on West Government Street in Brandon.
Welcome back to the Chip Matthews Show, and here is your host, Chip Matthews.
And we're back on a Tuesday morning here at WIB. On the phone with me is, of course, Lawerance Blackmon from Canton, Mississippi. He is the represents us in the House of Representatives, and you're still there, right, Lawerance?
I'm still here.
Okay.
Chip.
There you go. And what we're talking about is we had another murder in Canton last night, and these are real issues and real things that need to be addressed, and we have no way of doing that. But you and I were just talking on the phone, and you said this morning I brought up something on Benny Thompson, and look, I see all this going on in Benny Thompson's district. That's what I see, from Jackson to the coast to from Memphis on down. I mean, I hate to say it, but where are you on all this? Just ask it.
Well, the thing about it to me is that, it impacts Benny Thompson's district, but Benny is in Washington doing what he needs to do at the federal level. I don't think that we could expect much more from a congressman than what I'm offering right now, which are solutions to the municipal government, the people who would be in charge of enacting any type of reform to take the city back and get it under control.
Right.
Getting in touch with the Attorney General, Lynn Fitch, which I have already done, and I'm scheduled to meet with her office on next week. Getting in touch with Chad White, which I have already begun the process of that. And so those are the things that Congressman Thompson could do at most, but I don't think that it's fair for us to expect those things from him when he's based in Washington, when we have so many capable elected Democrats throughout the 2nd Congressional District who are boots on the ground in these communities and who should really take up the charge in raising awareness to the issue of increasing violence in our small Black towns. And so before the break, I kind of spoke to what Black Mississippi, what our small, specifically Black towns are getting back from the appropriations process from the state versus what we pay in terms of our taxes. And I said then, and I'll reiterate now, that I don't think it's fair. I don't have solid numbers and percentages to present to you right now, but I will get that through my peer study. But I think that is the issue that we should be talking about, right? How we are being shortchanged, shorthanded in the state budget, and how that is impacting our ability to hire qualified police officers, to hire certified police officers, to get the equipment that we need so that we can keep our cities and our small African-American towns safe. Well, so I think that that's the bigger issue, and I wouldn't put too much emphasis on what Benny is doing or is not doing as it relates to that, because I don't think that there is much that he can do on a policy level or even on an appropriations level from Washington, especially with Democrats being in the minority in D.C.
Okay, I can understand that. And it's like I told you, we're open. You're open to say whatever you want when we're on the air. I don't care. I mean,
well, I'm not. I'd like to be fair, Chip. I'm kind of disenchanted a little bit with everybody in the Democratic Party in Mississippi, but I do want to be fair. I don't want to shift blame where it doesn't belong, but I also want to accept responsibility, right? So even though I haven't been an elected official long, I am an elected official now, right? And it took me even 2 years to recognize this as being the issue that it is, and to start the process of getting it the attention that it deserves. But I think that we all, as elected officials in Canton and throughout specifically Black small town Mississippi, I think that we have been asleep at the wheel and we have not been maximizing what we do have, right? And so on one hand, we are being shortchanged and shorthanded by the state in appropriations, but I don't think that we are doing enough with what we do have to have the impact that we need to have in our community.
Okay, I'm gonna hit.
There's enough blame. I think there's enough blame to go around for all of us, Chip.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of blame to go to everybody, and that is what we're trying to do. Is we're trying to go through it. Let me ask you this question. This is going to come out of nowhere. Capitol Police belongs to the entire state. It doesn't belong to the capital Jackson. Is that something that needs to be expanded to help the small rural areas, or something?
Now, Chip, this is why I like you. This is why I like you.
Okay.
Because you do think out of the box, and thinking out of the box is what it's going to take to get us out of this mess. And so I have been having some early discussions with my team about what legislation could look like to address exactly what you said. That would allow more interagency cooperation between our small towns so that they can share some of these certified officers that they have that are having to be or that are having to choose now between, do they want to work in Goodman or do they want to work in Durant? Right. And these places are right there together. But I also would like to include in that a provision that would allow for municipalities and for our small towns to apply to have Capitol Police officers to come into their districts on a temporary basis, which could be a rolling temporary basis, and help to curb violent crime when needed. So that's something that I'm thinking about. And if you have suggestions, I would love to add you to my advisory committee so that we can get some legislation introduced next session that speaks exactly to what you just brought up.
Because what we're saying here is, like, for instance, let's say where we can't be competitive in salaries for people for top-notch employees, and we need to train ours and move them up. But if your leader is not strong enough to teach them what needs to be taught, and you bring in two people from Capitol Police, let's say because you got murders in Yazoo City this past week, you had murders in Natchez, you have murders in Greenville, you had murders in Indianola. This is what's going on, and they need help too, just like Canton. And and if you could bring in two Capitol Police for 6 months out of the year just to help you train and better your whole community and your situation, they never know when these people are rotating in and rotating out. And then all of a sudden you have these people from a state floating agency that helps correct and curb the crime. That's what we're looking for, is to curb the crime.
That's right.
So,
I think that is a brilliant idea, and I'm glad to get confirmation from you in the form of a meeting of the minds that I'm thinking on the right path when it comes to that.
Because what's working ain't working. What they're doing ain't working. So
part of the problem is we're
beat your head against the wall. You got to do something different if it ain't working. Hold on, where'd you go? There you are. Hello? Did I lose you? Okay. There you are. What's going on with your phone? You're cutting out. Hey, he's cutting out. We're going to take a break and see if we can fix this phone line situation. We'll be right back here on the Chip Matthews Show on WYAB. Back here on the Chip Matthews Show.
1039 WYAB.
We all make plans for the future, but car accidents, break-ins, and unexpected fires can disrupt those plans. At Shelter Insurance, our local agents help you design insurance plans that protect what matters most. Shelter Insurance ranked #1 for auto insurance in the Forbes 2024 World's Best Insurance Companies survey.
Ask Jamie Creel about Shelter's auto, home, and life options.
Hi, this is Rita Jensen with Remax Connection. I've been selling real estate now for well over 30 years, and I typically use Chadwick Home Inspectors. And Chad has done many, many home inspections for me.
They are pretty much from roof to foundation. Most people are surprised at just how thorough these home inspections can be. Been working with Rita almost a decade now. Very rarely does she let a deal fall apart. She can usually find a way to negotiate where both parties are satisfied.
RitaJensen.net.
CBS News Brief. Inflation cooled for the third straight month in April, even after some of the president's tariffs took effect. As for interest rates, CBS's Kelly O'Grady.
The Federal Reserve has said we just don't know what's going to happen with these tariffs, and they don't want to make a preemptive move because of what could be coming.
President Trump arrived in Saudi Arabia today, where he signed a host of economic and bilateral cooperation agreements with Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. CBS's Weijia Jiang is in Riyadh.
The two did sign some understandings today, but they weren't exactly any deals that have monetary figures attached to them.
Kim Kardashian testified at court in Paris. She thought she was going to die when armed robbers tied her up in her hotel room. Criminal defense attorney Caroline Polisi.
Investigators believe that they were essentially tracking her whereabouts. They knew what was in that apartment, and they had a lot of information.
CBS News Brief. I'm Deborah Rodriguez.
If you ever been stuck on the side of the road with engine trouble or because of an accident, you know how frustrating that can be. I'm Chad Stevens of Chad Stevens Record Service. We'll help take some of the stress out of this stressful situation. We've been rated by AAA as one of the top 10 towing services in the entire USA. Why? Well, just ask our customers. So keep our number in your cell phones and call us if you need us. 662-755-8645. That's Chad Stevens Record Service. 662-755-8645.
Your roof is constantly exposed to the elements, battling dirt, algae, and stains. But with Watkins Construction and Roofing Roof Wash Service, you can keep it looking like new. A proprietary rooficide treatment is EPA approved, safe, and guaranteed to prevent algae from coming back for at least 2 years. No harsh chemicals, no damage, no black streaks. Just a clean, beautiful roof that lasts. Call Watkins Construction and Roofing at 601-966-8233 or visit nomoreroofstains.com today.
Acme Pizza and Daiquiris at Fannin Mart on the Res is quickly becoming Rankin County's go-to spot for pizza, burgers, pasta, appetizers, daiquiris, and more. Try their famous Wheel of Flavor pizza. You can add up to 3 different specialty pizzas onto one pie, such as the Margarita, Sergeant Pepperoni, Acme Beet Buster, Pig, Pesto Chicken, the Old Mexico, the Supreme, or hey, just build your own custom pizza. Acme also has a full bar with 9 different frozen daiquiris to choose from. Open daily at 4 p.m. Acme Pizza and Daiquiris.
ABS causes mass hysteria by providing office tech that actually does its job.
Relax. At Advantage Business Systems, we know office technology isn't that exciting, but we do know it is life-changing. Work-life-changing, that is. Because the latest copiers, printers, mailing machines, and even telephone systems can keep your office running smoothly. Visit absms.com. Advantage Business Systems, helping your business do business.
Welcome back to the Chip Matthews Show, and here's your host, Chip Matthews.
And we're back on the Chip Matthews Show here on WYAB. I got on the phone with me still Lawerance Blackmon, House Representative, and they got a lot of people sitting here on the phone, Lawerance, and one of the questions is about the suing of the sheriff department, and now that they don't want to help Canton. That's what they're saying because of the lawsuits that took place. What do you think of that? I mean,
well, I think that is the thinking behind any pullback in enforcement from the sheriff's department, and I think that is unfortunate. I don't think that we should have to, in order to get adequate policing, right, and adequate safety, adequate health, I don't think that we should have to also accept, officers doing things that are unconstitutional while they police the town. So
I agree with that.
I think that we should be able to have it both ways, and I just don't think it's a lot to ask, right? I think that we should be able to have adequate policing in our communities and also be afforded basic to the Constitution that everybody wants, right? Just to be safe in your homes, to be free from unreasonable search and seizure, and those just kind of basic things.
Right.
So, I understand that when someone or a department or something gets sued, then it can take a personal turn, even if it's not personal, right? And so, I would like to sit down, one-on-one with the sheriff and see if he and I can hash out any differences we may have. I don't have any differences with the sheriff, but if he has any differences with me that are lingering from any past interactions, past litigation, then I would like for us to put those things aside so that we can really come together and bring Canton to its full potential.
I basically sitting down and talking will help everybody. And if we had a forum, and like I'm going to tell you, anytime you want to come on this program and be with me, just call, come on in physically, and we'll sit and talk, because the only way the problem's going to be solved is to sit down and work them out.
That's right.
And
I agree.
And
I'm gonna, like I said, I'll be meeting with the Attorney General's office next week. I'm gonna get some Freedom of Information Act requests out today regarding just how much money is Kim Bass taking from the city of Canton, and for what, and how she has her retainer set up to allow for her salary to balloon into the high six figures, which I understand that it has. I could be wrong. My inside sources is pretty certain about that. And I have to discuss these things publicly, because what I have learned is that if you try and let behind closed doors, everything just gets swept under the rug. And so at some point, I am sure that I will take you up on that, because this is a good platform to disseminate information in the interest of the public. And I think that there's some things going on that the public needs to know about, and things that would not be going on, quite frankly, if the public were tuned in to what exactly is happening at City Hall.
And, it's sad that our local TV stations and all that, you see a post, and they need to spend more time on the local news and what's going on here. Because there's, you get 3 minutes of local, and then all of a sudden they say a person ran off the road in Texas, and you're going, what the hell? or clickbait, and you're looking at an alligator and attacking a snake, and you're going, we've got a lot of things going on in this state that you need to be covering. And it just feels,
it's a lot of stuff going on. And another thing, man, is there's so many.
We're a little speck in the city, Madison County.
They're in the House this year, and then next year they're in the mayor's office. And so you just kind of have the same rotating cast of characters who are in power for so long. But I just, I am not for people staying in politics forever. I'm a big proponent of term limits at every level.
And I saw where you signed the term limit pledge, and I was just like,
I did sign the term limit pledge.
And I went, holy cow.
I could peek at that too. I think that between that and my House Bill 1, I think that's why I didn't make the top 50 Democrats list this year. So I'm trying for next year, Chip. Maybe I'll slide on in there next year.
Well, my way of looking at it is, you're not I like your dad, okay? I like Ed. But the reality is you're not that you're your own man. You do your own thing, and I think that is something that people are not giving you credit for. They look.
You have.
Hello. I want to hear this. I want to hear this answer. Go ahead. It's cutting in and out.
What? It's cutting out.
Now go ahead, talk. I can hear you now. No, I can't. Yes, I can. No, I can't. Come on. I can't. You're cutting out again. What are you doing? Now I can hear you. Are you on the speaker? Okay, if you take it off speaker and get back on the phone, I can hear you better. Okay.
Okay, how's that?
That's much better. Now, answer that question. Do you remember the question?
You pass on a name, but you can't pass on your reputation.
Right.
Right. And you pass on your character, and you can pass on your effectiveness. And so, I'm just out here doing what I can do, and I try not to I don't, rest on the laurels and anybody else's achievements or accomplishments or anything else. I'm here in Canton. I've done the preparation that the person would need to do to be able to be effective in this role. And I didn't leave DC, New York, Atlanta, when I was trotting all across the country and living and loving these big cities. I didn't leave that to come back to Canton and offer Canton my best. Do you understand?
I understand completely.
So that's what I have. That's what I have for Canton, and that doesn't have anything to do with anybody else.
And
the Lord has prepared me for, and what the Lord has given me to give back to His people.
And talking about the Lord is what everybody wants to hear. They want to hear that their politicians are religious based and want to do the right thing. That's what they want the most. And that's
what they get for me. I went to Pineywood. As most people, if you know me, I went to the Pineywood School, steeped in religion. We went to morning service every single day except for Saturday, but we made up for it on Sunday where we actually went to Sunday school, church, and evening.
And I tell people that's
evening worship.
That's what we do in Canton. You go to church and you go to school. The only thing and one thing I look back at as I look at politics, it is odd that the churches are stay segregated in a way. I just look at that and just go, we just don't really cross the aisle of that part of the thing. Politically, we cross it, but on the churches, we don't go back and forth to each other's churches, and we really should.
No, that's true. And my thinking behind that is that y'all Chip, how is the choir in church?
Chip, what? I missed that. I didn't get it all.
I said, how are the choirs in church? That's the part I'm not sure. I'm sure that you probably get a great word, but what really keeps me coming back to a church is the choir.
Right. You are cutting in and out again. And that just, I'm going to have you in the studio physically next time because you've got too much good to say.
Yeah, well, let's follow up. After we have this, after I have this meeting with the Attorney General's office and can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you fine.
Okay, so my goal with that meeting next week, just for everyone's benefit, is to reapproach the process to getting a task force put together to solve some of these cold cases and Canton and the curbs of the bottom line the second everyday community. So that goal of next week's meeting, basically very open and receptive to what I have to say, and hopefully I'll have a good update for the people of Canton meeting about next steps toward getting that task force put together and on the ground in Canton.
Now, just to let you know, as bad as I talk about Benning, I talk that bad about Lynn Fitch. Because I carried her 143 people that worked the polls in a Madison County election that were not from Madison County. And they said, where'd you get this list from? I went and got the payroll records from the supervisors and backed it in to find out who they were and then checked their addresses, and they weren't from Madison County or registered voters in Madison County.
I know that every person in every position kind of has their agenda.
She sent me a letter saying she wasn't going to get involved in elections.
That doesn't surprise me, because if the Attorney General's office to get it into the every small town election, all of these small towns have election contests after the election, no matter which election it is.
Which we're having one today. So we'll see how that goes.
And we're having one today here in Canton, and there's another one getting started in Leland tomorrow. I mean, so that happens all the time. And if the AG's office were to get into the minutia of that at every turn, they would be bogged down by election contests all the time.
That's right.
And so I look at
well, what I'd like y'all to do is the House is to come up with some teeth in the election laws. That's all I would like. Because basically, the Secretary of State has no power in them. Tell you the truth. You're cutting out again.
I was saying, help me to develop some comprehensive legislation around that issue. And I don't have an issue. I don't have a problem, advocating for that as long as.
It's like, for instance, with the election, if something is not going right, all they can do is write it down. They can't come and say, okay, you're doing this wrong. You need to do it this way, and then a lot of these election challenges would go away. Lawerance, I can barely hear you from time to time now, so I'm going to go ahead and let you go. Thanks for calling in. Are you still there?
I'm still here for having me. I will get back with you, and I'll keep you and your audience posted about the next steps and how things develop next week with the AG's office.
Oh, please do. And it was great having you on, and I want to have you on as much as I can. Okay?
I sure appreciate you, Chip. We'll do it again real soon.
Okay, thank you. Okay, there's a conversation where we did not get into talking about whether or not I'm running for office, but y'all know I'm running for mayor of Canton, and I feel like I can solve a lot of these problems. And, Tim's going to be a good guy too. And we're both on the right page, but there are problems that I think that I'm ready to address. The gunfire, I'm ready to address the killings, I'm ready to address the businesses where we don't have enough small businesses in Canton. I'm ready to address all of that, and I hope y'all really realize that. Okay, we're going to take our last break here, and we'll be back on the other side to land the plane right here on the Chip Matthews Show on WYAB. On the Chip Matthews Show on WYAB.
1039 WYAB.
Health has always been reactive, focused on fixing problems as they happen. But with Blue Primary Care, we're taking a proactive approach, working with you to help you understand your health and empowering you to be healthy. It's time to prioritize you, your health, and your life. The results? Less worrying and more living. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Mississippi. It's good to be blue.
Americans for Prosperity is Mississippi's and the country's leading grassroots organization dedicated to promoting economic freedom and personal liberty. Americans for Prosperity advocates for limited government, free market policies, and empowering individuals. When given freedom and opportunity, Americans are capable of extraordinary things. If you are ready to make a difference in our community and want to get involved, then visit AmericansForProsperity.org. Be a part of positive change at AmericansForProsperity.org. Paid for by Americans for Prosperity.
For decades, you've known the name Martin's for good times, great food, and the best live music. Now that's happening at 2 locations, downtown Jackson and Livingston. Check the websites, martinslivingstonms.com and martinsdowntownjxn.com for the many special events and live music lineups. You can chill with friends on the big patio at the Livingston location and enjoy the Blue Plate lunches and nightly drink specials. Martin's, downtown and Livingston.
Rotor's Plumbing of Pearl, your familiar plumber with these similar names. Locally owned and operated by Chris Rotor. Rotor's Plumbing is no franchise, simply lower prices and better service without the dreaded overpriced upsell. Rotor's is one of the few places you'll find that actually specialize in tankless water heater repair, as well as being your full-service plumber. And most importantly, service after the sale, meaning the techs actually answer your call, with misses averaging callbacks of 10 minutes or less. Rotor's Plumbing at roedersplumbing.com.
If you want the best health care, where do you go? The Mayo Clinic. If you want the best care for your vehicle, where do you go? Mayo Auto Clinic in Raymond. Mayo Auto Clinic does foreign and domestic vehicles and diesel repair. Mayo Auto Clinic has ASE certified techs with over 25 years of experience. You can extend the life of your car or truck when you take it to Mayo Auto Clinic. For cost-effective repairs and maintenance, go to the best, Mayo Auto Clinic. Open weekdays at 7 a.m. Highway 18 in Raymond. When you feel like your business is drowning in paperwork and compliance issues, it's time to call P-Police. Let P-Police take care of the busy work so that you can save valuable time and focus on what really matters, growing your business. P-Police is based in Ridgeland, so you're always dealing with local professionals who will actually understand your business and its needs. Join thousands of satisfied clients who trust P-Police to simplify their employee administration. Visit ppolice.com. That's ppolice.com to learn more.
859-8596, small town music, come on, hit it. 859-8596, call before you're home, that's the trick.
Hey, this is Frazier. We are only open Friday and Saturday or by appointment, but still alive and kicking. Call, text, or email for more info. Thanks for your support, and please call before you haul. 601-859-8596, small town music, come on ahead of it. 859-8596, call before you haul. Shop our used inventory and the convenience of your own home online at www.smalltownmusic.com.
Welcome back to the Chip Matthews Show, and here is your host, Chip Matthews.
And we're back on a Tuesday for our last segment here on WYAB today on the Chip Matthews Show. And I'd like to thank Lawerance Blackmon for being on the air with us today. And we seem to have a good conversation about the issues in Canton. Now, of course, you know, this is not a forum for me to politic to vote for me. Just letting you know that. This is where we're trying to be informative of what is going on in the area. Of course, I'd love all of y'all to vote for me, but that's beside the point. We've got to get to where we talk. Now, I'm going to say something that may shock some people and may not, and I don't know how you will take it, but it's a truth statement that I'd like to make. In my running for mayor, it is real important for the perception inside Canton. We need to, one, fix the problems in Canton. But the perception outside Canton to bring the business community in is they will see change if I become the mayor. And I hate to think that is something that has to be done that way. But I mean, I look different from a lot of people from Canton. I do. And, you know, I really need your vote. I want your vote, and I will take care of you. It'll be more important for me to take care of you if I go into office, because y'all will hold me to a higher standard than what you hold anybody else to. You're going to expect me to do something, and I promise you I will get out and get it done. And I will be there, and I will listen to you just like on this radio program. Any day you want to call in, any day you want to talk, any day you want to come visit. I have an open door policy to let everybody come sit down and talk with me. And you got an event or anything coming up, come on in and talk. Come on in or call in. All you got to do is just let me know you want to come on the show. I'll let you come on the show. Now, my show is every day at 6 a.m. And on Tuesday, I have the 9 o'clock program also. And I did that where Lawerance wouldn't have to get up early and come in this morning at 6 a.m. and talk, which he probably would. But that's that. But anyway, thank y'all for listening, and thank you for understanding, and thank y'all for being a part of it. I know we're going to have some people in from Jackson in the next few days that are going to be talking about the problems going on in Jackson and what we need to do. Of course, Kim Wade will be on this afternoon at 4 p.m. He's running for mayor also. It'd be great if WYAB had two mayors, Chip Matthews and Kim Wade, running two cities that need help dramatically to curb violence and build back the businesses of the city. The small businesses have to come back. You know, driving around the square and not seeing anything in Canton, or driving in Jackson. I mean, in Jackson, where do you eat? Where do you go eat when everything is gone? You know, it's sad. And, you know, we don't have places to go and entertain ourselves and this, that, and the other. And that's just not right. We need more. We live in a world to where every day you expect something to happen, and you expect it to happen now. You know, you sit at the house, and if you want a chocolate shake, you can get a chocolate shake brought to your house in the matter of a few minutes. We live in America. We don't have to wait for anything. We don't have to want for anything. You know, you get out, you can work, get you a job, make some money, and then you want it now. That's the world we live in. And so right now in Canton, we want it now that we fix the politics of Canton, and we're going to have to. We got to fix it. I mean, because Truly's not telling us what's going on, and he should know. But he's testifying today in the election because right now they're trying to get it fixed to where they can get Camelia Walker on the ballot and take Tim Taylor off on the Democratic side. Now, I'll be on the ballot regardless. I'm on the Republican side and not challenged. But these are the real things. And then, of course, we'll have Mr. Oh, geez. Don't tell me I forgot his name. I forgot the independent name. Oh, Peoples. Make sure that he's on the ballot, too. We're all there. You can go get a ballot today. Vote absentee today. If I've moved you, go vote for me. But get out and vote. 20% of us can't decide when 80% of us don't vote. 20% of us need to go vote and get the right people in. And that's in Canton, and that's in Jackson, and everywhere else in Mississippi. But that's going to do it for me. The Jameson Haygood Show is next right here on WYAB. And good morning to y'all, and I'll see y'all tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. on the Chip Matthews Show on WYAB.